But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app.
Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. And this is the Ramsey Show After Show. Sorry about that little bit of George there. He's wrapping it up over there, giving it the Bueller. You're still here? It's over. Yep, there he is right there. Live. And we got me audio as well. So cool. Hopefully that doesn't, that little bit of it doesn't get flagged. We'll see if it does. Alrighty. This is the Ramsey Show, After Show. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That information is in the ticker and it will come up right after this baby steps explanation, something a bunch of people get wrong, so that's why I added it to the ticker. But it's Calendly, like calendar, but instead of the AR, it's a LY. CALENDLY. And that's where you can schedule that. I think I said Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. If I didn't, now I have. And you're watching this on youtube.com/CashSteveMoney/Coach Steve Money. And my financial content is, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show today is number 531. And answering your financial questions playlist as well. There's 138 in there, and there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs, including a parody of T Swizzles. You Belong With Me, called You Belong Debt Free. You belong debt free. That was a fun one. That's probably the best video. I also made a lyric video for it, and that's probably the best representation of that. Market report, and we can see everything's up today, so that is a good day. Kind of a normal type day. And it went up. Why? Who is he? Is he the Commerce? Yeah, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told CNBC what he has a deal done. I don't know why you need to say it 4 times. But waiting for their prime minister and their parliament to give it its approval. Would that be the bloody UK? Would that be England? Or don't know where that would be, but some kind of deal, trade deal. So, a deal on the tariffs. Let's see. So, let's see how the rest of the planet is doing. Everything, mostly down in the Europe, mostly up in Asia. The US dollar is up above the euro, down to the Japanese yen, up against the British pound, love. Up against the Canadian dollar, and up against the Australian dolomite, so not quite a clean sweep. Still down to the euro, but other than that, dollar doing well today as well. So maybe America won't quite collapse yet. We'll see. Let's see. We got Microsoft and Meta reporting tomorrow, and both those in the afternoon. So that probably, you'll get people that will buy tomorrow thinking that, or maybe they have insider information on what that reporting will be, or they are day traders, something like that, where they're trying to grab it at a lower price, thinking that it will go up, that kind of thing. But we will see on, let's see. So that is tomorrow is Wednesday. So Thursday, during the day, this could being reported Wednesday at the closing bell. That could affect Thursday morning. Let's see. Most followed single stocks on the Google. Actually have, speaking of Google, Alphabet Incorporated actually down today. Oh, and so is Amazon, 0.17, 0.28. And the Tesla up 2.15. Again, the most change, which is normal for the Tesla. Let's check the other headlines. White House blasts Amazon for hostile and political tariff move. I don't know what they did. We did talk about that already. U.S. consumer confidence plummets to COVID-era low as trade war stokes anxiety. Alrighty. They start doing the deals, though, then theoretically that'll go away, and then people will have to blame something else for their overreaction to stuff. What up, Crumbler? Oh, Taylor was playing, and you were singing my lyrics to it. That's fabulous. Love when that happens. Let's see. Meta AI app. New way to access your AI assistant. I don't have an AI assistant. Maybe I should get one. Can AI be my producer? Can AI set up everything for me so I don't have to do it? So I can be the just quote unquote talent in this operation. Let's see. The 4 a.m. wake up call is not just for Superman CEOs anymore. All right, if you say so. I think you can start later in the day. You don't have to start at 4. You do want to, you do want to do good work once you start doing the work, and you want to spend significant time doing it. Let's see, from Wall Street Journal, big marketers like MasterCard, PepsiCo, and Nissan are rethinking Pride marketing. Really? I wonder why. Novo Nordisk open weight loss drug Wegovy to telehealth, and then her shares rocket 18%. All right. Palantir's justification for building ICE's master database. Okay. Justification station there. All right. Okay, probably shouldn't do much of that, just checking the headlines, because there's so much that they don't tell you in there because they want you to click on it. And so, we have a lot of stuff that like people might be wondering about after I bring it up. So maybe I'll stop doing that. Let's do some questions though. After I get a little agua. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? Yes, we had, how much should we, 37-year-old married couple, save for retirement? It's not an age thing. It is a baby step thing, and I believe these people have debt. And if that's the case, you're on baby step 2. So you're not investing anything. I don't care how old you are. You don't pay off debt in step 2 and also invest in step 4. That's a no, 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 no. And that's why you have to put it in the ticker, or I felt like I should put it in the ticker. Baby steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time. Don't even think about higher steps, just like it says in the how to do the baby steps right. How to do the baby steps right song. That's also in that playlist. Do steps 1, 2, and 3 and concentrate on those and stop trying to project the rest of your life so much. There'll be plenty of time once you get done with step 3, and then you can address how you're going to handle the investing, and it should be 15%. So it would not be more than that. You would not be investing more than 15% until baby steps 5 and 6 were also taken care of. So you don't invest more and pay less on the mortgage. We don't debt leverage to put more in the market and keep the mortgage around. Alrighty, and so that was the sum up for that one. And then student loan help, well, you pay it off. Is how you help yourself with that. Let's see, refurred beans, all right, instead of refried, I guess. I have student loan help. I have 3 student loans out there. Are they out there? Like, somewhere out there. No. Or is it out there somewhere? I can't remember. That song from Wally. There's a world outside of Yonkers. 19,240 private loan at 3.769%. I don't care about the percentage. 20,000 to another one. Okay. 29, almost 30,000 Parent Plus loan that this person's paying for. Minimums on the Plus loan are killing me, and I pay 200 a month, and I can't make it fit, and 180 of that just goes to interest. Hey, you know what would be great if you didn't take out those student loans and you would have gotten grants and scholarships and worked for the money to go to college. So that's what it would have been good. And also, got a great idea too. How about if you graduated and you actually got a good job making enough money in your field, and your field wasn't dumb as crap, and now you're making enough money here. Let's see what the deal is. I was on the personal student loan forgiveness track until I left nonprofit at 6 out of 10 years. Yeah, well, that was dumb as crap of you, sir. Or madam. With the current administration, I don't see PSLF ever being attainable. Yeah, and it might not have been with the previous administration either. Not everybody got approved. The Plus loan isn't even in my name. What? Okay, it's in your dad's name, right? So technically he owes that. 1 year before hitting the... Okay, well, should I consolidate? No, you don't consolidate it. You just pay it off. You just pay it off. You hunker down. And the way you pay off debt, people always ask, how can I pay off debt? How can I do that? Or how can I save money for this goal that I have? You know, any question like that. And the answer is you do not spend that money on anything else. That's how you do that. And what would Dave do? He would tell you to, how about you do the baby steps? And you're on baby step 2. And so if you have other loans, other debt, other than the student loans, those are probably less. And you'll be doing those first. And you will be paying the interest. And that's your stupid tax for taking out so much in loans. And so does it say, let's see, is there something you're missing? Yeah, you're missing the point that you were dumb by taking that out. Let's see. I'm month 4, baby step 2. Yeah, so been paying 100 to 1,000, excuse me, 1,000 to 2,000 extra on my credit card debt and minimums on my student loans, right? And that's the way you keep doing it, and it's going to be a long haul there. Now, what you would do is you would sell a car. If you are financing a car, maybe you sell it. Especially the newer it is, and the bigger the loan on it still. You might sell that. If you bought a house, you might sell the house and rent. And hopefully you have some equity in the house, and then you can pay off some of this debt with that. But other than that, you were just dumb taking out the debt. Because apparently there's not something that is going... I mean, 1,000 to 2,000 is good, but if you did graduate and you did get a good big boy job or big girl job after college, after you graduated, then you need to continue living like a broke kid while you pay off this dumb debt. And so you would cut your expenses. And again, like I said, you don't spend the money on anything else. And that's how you do that. So there's no magic in this. There's no magic that happens. I mean, you're the magic. The magic is working more and not spending money on stuff, cutting things out of your budget. To sell or not to sell, that is the question. I own a house in Fall City, Washington. All right. I'm thinking of selling it to buy in Nashville. All right. Washington's is where I grew up. Okay. Don't need both the apostrophe S and the is there. Where I grew up, have sisters and brothers, also lots of friends, and my house is paid off. But I hate Washington's politics. All right. And they tax you so much. Yep. Yep. At 70, I'm still paying full property tax. Yep. You would always have to pay that. Even in Nashville. I believe, unless they have no property tax there, but I think, I mean, they don't have state taxes, but they do have property tax still, I believe. I apply every year and get turned down for what? Oh, to get it removed. I don't know why it would be removed unless it's a age thing. Gas is $4. Yeah, food is $100. Quit whining, old man. Come on. What you used to get for $20? Yeah, it's a thing called inflation. Are you new to the planet? Just whining and bitching about stuff here. I have 5 grandkids in Washington and 1 coming in Nashville. Okay, well, I mean, if you want to move, you can move, but that's not going to make your life that much better, I don't think. Because guess what? There's inflation in Nashville too. So I'm on the fence and need smart advice. I'm too emotional about it. You got to make that choice. You can't let somebody make that choice for you. Because sure, you'll get to be with the new grandchild in Nashville, but then you'll be leaving the 5 behind in Washington. So Washington State. And so I wouldn't let anybody on Reddit decide that for me. You have to decide that. Because, I mean, I could even say do one or the other, but then I don't have to live with it. Like, you're the one that has to live with your decision of whichever one you do. And you can't do both at the same time. So this is what's called 70-year-old person. This is what's called being an adult, making these decisions like this. And also being adult is accepting the fact that yes, gas is $4. It's not, well, it might be there, but it's like it's still $3. That is not that big a deal as you're making it. The difference in it. So it's like I think a little bit over 3 here in Ohio. So and it's probably not good. I mean, maybe $1. Gas being $1 less, and food being $1 less in Nashville than it is in Washington isn't going to change your life that much. If it is, you got other problems there, and so food is $100. What you used to get for $20 in my day. Quit being grumpy old man and just be an adult. Start doing some adulting instead of whining is what I would recommend. And I'm no spring chicken myself, so but I am a big fan of people embracing reality instead of just bitching about it. 50 dill for milk. Alrighty then. My experience following Dave Ramsey with the screen name like that. Do I even want to do this? Let's see. If the mouse isn't rewarded with cheese, it won't have incentive to navigate the maze. His advice is for the majority of people living paycheck. His advice is for everybody. It works for everybody. So the dumb people that say, oh, his advice for getting out of debt is great, but then his investing bite is not. No. His advice is good for everybody. People just don't want it to be. He's talking to people that probably never balanced checkbook, and no, not only. So let's see. The feels good he refers his wants and not necessities and financial gain. His advice must be ridiculous. Here's what happened to me following his advice. 2013, $23K in credit card debt. $123 owed on the house. My wife and I were making about $60,000 a year combined in our small. But I couldn't go to the ATM and put my hands on $200. Okay, It says debt free there though now, so I'm gonna assume everything worked out fine. So quit your crap about the thing about he's talking to people that probably had never balanced. No, it works for everybody. Everybody that follows it correctly should be making progress. Now, granted, you are going to have things that cause you to go back in baby steps. Like if you have an emergency, that's what your emergency fund is. But then once the emergency's over, then you have to replenish the emergency fund. So things in life like that are going to happen. Let's see. Logical chemistry 910. Mortgage free. Do I include the HELOC in baby step 2? Yes. 47 man with credit card, auto, and HELOC. Currently in baby step 2 and wondering whether to include the HELOC or does it move now to baby step 6. Yeah, you put that in baby step 2 and pay that off as fast as you can. That was dumb to take out. Gemini J. Gemini J 2023. Credit score, good credit. We don't care about any of that. What does your credit score look like? Some jobs require you to have decent credit score, good credit. Yeah, and if they do, you won't be getting those. So if they do require that, if like the application says they're going to check it, you just need to let them know that you have an indeterminable score because you don't play with debt anymore. And if you're in the middle of the baby steps, you might actually have a bad credit score before it goes indeterminable, and so you need to explain that to them as well. And if they don't have time for that, maybe you don't want to work there anyway. So just to get some job at some company that requires a decent credit score and good credit is not worth you playing the credit game. So that's the dealio on that. John Breeden, 85. What it looks like to change your family tree, and this is encouragement. Okay. Today I saw something that showed me how far God has brought us, and I want to share in case someone else needs to hear it. In 1995, when I was 10, I lived with my father and sister in the Midwest. Shout out Midwest. My father was a single dad raising a 10-year-old wild child and a 21-year-old with special needs, all the while living in a small house. He bought with the proceeds of my mother's life insurance. My dad, a college-educated and loving man, struggled with behavioral health issues all of my life and was barely able to hold down menial work. Our main source of income was my sister's Social Security disability benefit, amounting to $556 a month, and we lived in that for a long, long time. Ends wouldn't meet. Boom, boom, boom. Utilities went on and then off again. There was never enough. Eventually, my sister became independent enough to move out on her own, and my dad and I were able to receive Social Security survivor benefits due to my mother's death. My father experienced a stroke when I was 16 and later succumbed to further health complications. I moved in with my father's brother and his family. A loving middle-class couple with 2 kids close to my age, whom 2 years prior had heard a maniac named Dave on the radio. When they started, they had thousands in personal debt, nothing saved for kids' college, and little for retirement. They did, however, want their family to be different. So at 17, I and their eldest went through FPU. All right. Their eldest and I would be the correct thing of that, phrasing of that. FPU with folks from our church. Fast forward 9 years, 2 college degrees, a military career, and a few years in consulting later. This morning, checking our budget and noticed that the interest payment for our high yield savings account where we keep our emergency fund came in. It was $250, nearly half of what my dad, my sister, and I lived in each month 30 years ago. The decision you make today, the money you save, the rants you listen to, they can all make the difference. Sure. My aunt and uncle are years deep into baby step 7 and living their best retirement life. Fabulous. Due to their own blood and sweat, I'm extremely grateful to them. More than words can say. More than words is all I have to say to you, something like that. But I'm even more proud of the family they built and their willingness to let God use them to build a future for all of their kids, me included. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, sir. Very nice. Cooking. Comprehensive Thai 666. I don't remember what movie that's in. It's like my wife, I tell you, something like that. Something like that. My wife, I tell you, she thinks cooking is a city in China. Just a little check in. I'm still applying through baby step 2. I've got to say, you don't have to, you're choosing to. Over the last few years, I've become an excellent cook. Great. I love roasting meats, roasting veggies. Okay, he's a roaster. I make some great pastas, and my gumbo game is strong. I often stretch leftovers with stir fries and fried rice dishes. I can hardly go out anymore because all I think about is how many groceries I could buy for the amount of the tab. Haha, yeah. Yep. That's a mindset change on that. Cobb JJ, 1997. Should I refinance my car loan? Why? Just pay it off. Working on paying off my car, which is my only major source of debt. I owe about $20,000 left on it. I got screwed at the dealership before I was financially literate, and it was at 12.2%. I refinanced once to see the refinancing didn't fix it. Quit being dumb. You know what you could do if you owe $20,000 on it? You could sell it and buy a beater and be out of debt faster. Let's see. Offer for 5% flat. Don't constantly refinance it. You know why? Because that puts you in more debt. You know why? Because they charge you a fee to refinance it. I'm still paying whatever extra money I have towards it, but probably won't be able to pay it off this year. Most likely next year. Thoughts? Yeah, sell it. And if you're on baby step 1, you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe didn't change his flare or hit the wrong flare instead of baby step 2. You shouldn't be paying extra on that. You should be putting money into your starter emergency fund to get to the $1,000. So if you already have $1,000 in the emergency fund, you're not on baby step 1. It's which one you're on, not which one you've completed already. Excuse me. Sandcastle Virtue, car option. I just got a buy 8 appraisal for my 2021 RAV4, and it comes to approximately $3,000 profit on what I have. Great. It has 104 kilometer, needs brakes and tires. I have 27 months left on the loan. Seems like it is right on the edge of the rule where I should let it go at being just over 2 years to pay off. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you get to make this choice. You don't have to sell it, but if you did, you would be out of debt faster. If you sell this and buy a cheap car, you could have problems with the car. If you keep this and pay it off, pay $20,000 more on it. So dumb. Didn't that what I say? 20,000? Oh no, that was this one. That was this one. That was 20,000. Okay, so we don't know how much it is. So on 2021, so 27 months, that is over 2, yeah, that's over 2 years. And so, okay. Oh, Seems like it's right on the edge of the rule where I should let it go, being just over 2 years to pay it off. Okay, the amount that it has left on the loan is not when it gets paid off. You put extra to it. So you're doing it wrong. You don't just pay minimums on baby step 2. You do minimums on everything else, but for the smallest loan, you would be putting extra to that. And so if you have a bunch of other debt that is not going to allow you to pay this car off quicker than that, then yeah, I would sell that. And then you don't have that problem anymore. And yes, you could buy a beater and have issues with that as well, for sure. Have a mechanic check that out before you buy it. But the problem is also you could keep this car and keep paying on the car, and you could also have problems with this car that would need to be fixed as well. So we don't know the future on that. So this has to be your decision. If you have a bunch of other debt, I would say it's a no and go ahead and sell it. If this is your only debt, then you commit yourself to paying it off faster than you're thinking, because you're doing the lazy person way of doing it, the normal way of doing it, where you take the entire loan amount, the loan term in number of months, where you take that entire 27 months to pay it off. And that, of course, is you're doing it wrong. This is from FKMBKY. Dave changed my life. Mine too. I won't probably ever make it to a show. I will probably never make it to a show. Let's try that. Let's see. Whoops. I kind of stopped listening 5-6 years ago because I could read his mind. I listened to so many episodes. All right, but straight up, I was in a pretty bad spot and just had a kid. Another was on the way about a house I couldn't afford. Okay, well then you can't read his mind then, because if you can read his mind, you did dumb crap that he wouldn't have recommended. So, would that change if you had listened to the show constantly? If so, you should have listened to the show constantly instead of doing that dumb crap. Still had student loans over 13 years. Yeah, credit card. Yeah, so dumb. So dumb. I was in the hole, probably 60K. Is in the hole. And I maybe had 5K in a 401K. LOL, invested in a target date fund with almost all bonds. So dumb. And so again, you keep proving time after time that you do not know what he would say, or you just purposefully did not follow his advice. Let's see. I had my head in the sand thinking I was normal and doing great. Right, normal is not doing great. My new house was now further from my job, and my auxiliary port in the car stopped working. Wah. Hey, guess what? I don't have an auxiliary port, and somehow I managed to keep living. The only radio station, I don't care about it. Maybe it's the Ramsey show station, maybe. I could pick up during a stretch in the boonies was a conservative talk radio station, and I heard the Baker Street intro. Boop, beep, 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 boop. And the monologue about paid off home mortgage as the status symbol of choice, and that was it. I went ballistic on the debt. That's great. Should have done that all along. Cleaned up credit cards first, closed them, sold the car that I luckily had equity in, and threw it off student loans. Paid those off in a year. Within 2 years of foregoing almost everything, we were debt free besides the mortgage, and at zero to very little net worth. Right, and that's what the person in the previous question needs to do as well. That was 9 years ago now. I'm 42. Today my net worth hit $1.3 million again after contributing more and the market coming back a little. I own 2 newer cars, all paid for in cash at purchase. A newer camper, cash. Bought a nice house, but needed some work and financed a 200K plus renovation with cash. Great. And that's not financing it. That's you just paying for it. Our mortgage is only 9% of our gross income. Great. And we will you use your net income for that, but that's still going to be lower than 25. Let's see. We net after all retirement contributions and all expenses $9,000 a month. I invest all of it because I have a healthy cash position. All right, and that's fine if you have the house paid off, right? Beep beep beep, beow, 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 beow. Yeah, if the house is not paid off, you should not be investing more. Let's see. I've earned a PhD in personal finance and have read every book there is on the topic now. Real advanced stuff that Dave doesn't teach, but that's not his audience. And you don't need it either. You don't need it to be successful. You did not do anything here that made you put you in a better spot that Dave doesn't talk about because it's advanced stuff. So that's dumb. But still, I only invested index funds in real estate. No index funds. He doesn't say to do index funds. You're leaving money on the table, Mr. Advanced Stuff. How about you be advanced and realize that managed funds can beat the index if you take 2 seconds to look for some. And the real estate, you have to buy it all completely in cash. So how are you doing that? So you're not doing that. I mean, if you're doing like REITs, excuse me, that's not advised. Let's see. There's no secret sauce since it's all basic principle he teaches. Right? Keep lifestyle creep down. Let's see what other dumb crap there is. This is basically saying it all worked, but I'm going to shit on it a little bit anyway. Let's see. No debt of any kind. Okay, so mortgage paid for, so you can, at that point, you can invest whatever percentage you want. Someday, I have no debt of any kind and will never again, and someday the mortgage will be gone too. It's hard to want to pay down a real low balance on a 3%. Okay, so you're dumb as crap. You're dumb as crap, sir. You would not be putting extra into investing. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. Quit doing that. He changed my life, but I'm still doing things he says not to do. All right. Cool story, bro. C. Bonner, 1985. Ideas for building wealth after baby step 2. Restrictions, limit, options. So you see that, yeah, that's good. That's all that they wrote right there, because it would show more before giving the ellipsis. So that was just some ellipses they put in there. Looking for ways to build wealth after baby step 2. Well, you don't build wealth. You save up your full emergency fund, and that's it. My only income sources are through VA and SSDI, so no earned income excludes using IRAs, traditional brokerage accounts, and 401k. You can't use traditional brokerage accounts either? I don't know what you would do then. If you can't use if you can't use a non-tax advantage brokerage account, that seems weird. Stipulation for VA and SSDI. So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem with those freebie things, that they don't allow you to. I mean, you're looking at high yield savings account then. I don't know what else you would do. Assuming you don't have enough to buy, real estate. So yeah, you're looking at high yield savings account, and that's the situation you're in because you're doing VA benefits and SSDI, and apparently it excludes you from using a regular brokerage account. I would check on that, but if that's pretty dumb, I would check on that for sure. And also, yeah, if your only incomes or choices are sources are through that, and you can work, why don't you work too? Do side hustles. I mean, I know sometimes they have limits on that too, which is dumb as well. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. The restrictions limit options, but that's the situation you're dealt. And so, but there's no market option then. There's no type of account that you can buy to invest in the market. So you have to just do a high yield savings account. Best I can come up with for you. Maybe I'll check that later about that brokerage stipulation if I remember. Can someone explain to me? Yes, I would love to it. And I don't, how's it go? I don't mind explaining to you all night how to do the baby steps right. Hello, Space Girl. Can someone explain to me? Okay, hi all, hi guys, I'm fairly new here. I've been aware of Dave Ramsey for a long time, but never listened to his show before this month. Now it's all I want to listen to on my commute. Great. I understand the baby steps. Do you though? Some people don't think so. Some people think they do and they don't. Let's see. Husband and I, made a few mistakes in the past. We all have. But now find ourselves with no debt except the house. Great. And about $12K in our high yield savings account. We are overpaying for the home. Our main recent misstep. But it is our dream. It doesn't matter. If it's too much house, you should sell it. Next door to my mom's house, yeah, that's gonna be a no. Because the idea is that you have money to pay that off faster and to invest the 15% and to save for kid college. How many? Two, you got 2 kids to save for college as well. We'll enjoy that Nana and Granddad regularly, and we are in the area. Justification station for keeping a house that's too much house. So that's a no. You can justify it all you want to, but that's still a no. Projected to grow a lot in the next 10 to 20 years. I believe this house will have a lot more equity in the future. Currently, it's about 40% of our... Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. The advice would be to sell it. Looking in the future, we hope to increase our income. We hope to. You don't base your life on hope to. In the next few years. Yeah, you don't stay in that house on something that might happen. That's dumb. That's the same dumbness that people take out, hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans because they'd be making a lot of money eventually and then can pay it off. Because it's not guaranteed, and neither is your increase in income over the next few years. So quit being dumb. You're just, I want it. I want a house. I just started in the ICU and been a registered nurse for about 4 years. I mean, they can make money, but you don't know for sure. Working on more certs and a program at work that can increase. That's great. Do that, but you cannot afford it. You don't have years to wait. You're wasting years. 40% is too much. My husband is going to try and it's try to. We don't try and do things. We try to do them. Get in the elevator construction union. And okay, see, all of this is great. And this is all justification station. So, and this is why we think we can keep it because we're going to... You don't know any of this is going to happen. Let's see, making potentially double what he makes now. Shut up with that crap. If he can do that, that's great. But that's not guaranteed, and you don't base today's decision on something like that might happen. Although that won't come down the line for a few months. Yeah, if ever. We're bringing roughly $7,500 a month now. I could make an extra $1,000 a month with those 1 extra overtime days. Which I will do. And until you start doing it, not just saying you're going to do it, that money doesn't count either. I also have a second RN job at an outpatient surgery center, 1 to 2 times per month. That brings an extra $200 or so per shift. Well, great. But that still, it's too much house. Expenses, blah, 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 blah. And you know, this whole thing is to justify keeping the house, probably. And you don't even have your full emergency fund yet, either. So let me ask you this. Are you aware that if you understand the baby steps, is this person? Yeah, I understand the baby steps. Apparently you don't, because you bought that house before you completed baby step 3. Now maybe you did it before, maybe bought the house before, and so now knows darn well, because they understand the baby steps, knows darn well they bought too much house and should sell it. And that would be the Ramsey advice. And it still would be, no matter what crap, you can do like a War and Peace size book of justification station. That is not going to change the advice to sell that house and move down in house. It feels so slow going, and when I'm thinking of the future, wah! I'm listening to the show and reading on Reddit about how people have these huge nest eggs. Quit being jealous of them. You're in the financial position you are because of the dumb crap you did. Embrace that and accept it and try to make it better. And part of what makes it better, what could make it better, is if you sell the house, which you know is too much. We say, or if we can, we'll have a little extra disposable income. What? Oh, I'm thinking about how now it seems impossible to get to a point where we can ever afford to contribute the max amounts on retirement accounts. Yeah, you know why? You know how you get to do that, to do the maximum amounts on it? Is if you don't buy too much house and then you pay off your mortgage, then you can do more than the 15%. Quit being stupid and accept the reality of it, that you know already. If you understand the baby steps, you do understand that that's the right thing to do. You just don't want to do it. But also, you're dumb additionally because you understand the baby steps. You are dumb additionally because you want to keep the house, and you know that's stopping you from doing the things like maxing out retirement accounts in the future. But you're whining about it then. I mean, you can be a dumbass if you want to and keep this too expensive house, but it's exactly right. It's going to be tough for you in the future. And you're going to have to do all that working, and you still won't be able to do what you said you can't do. So how about you, if you want to keep the house and be dumb and not follow the Dave advice, then go ahead and do that. But quit your bitching. Quit whining about, now I can't have everything. Wah. Are you able to keep piling away? Yeah, other people are, because they haven't done dumb crap like you have. And maybe they didn't buy too much house. And they didn't go gazelle intents to pay off debt. And 2022, we sold our house at a $200K profit and paid off all our debt. Great. And then bought another house shortly after. Missed that. Yeah, that was dumb as shit. But man, that payoff felt good. If you read this far, thanks. Please give me some hope. I don't have any for you. You're too whiny. Whiny people don't get hope. That's not how that works. I don't feel like, for me, I'll ever get to a place where I can contribute to 15%, have college saved for it. Yeah, because you can't do everything all at the same time. So do you want to be able to do that stuff? Do you want to be able to contribute 15% even? And then even more than that after the house is paid off, and have college saved for 2 kids. And also be paying 40% of your take-home pay for a house that's too much house for you. that you shouldn't have bought to begin with. So, no, you cannot do everything. Income is limited, even when you do all that extra working. And if hubby can up his income, which is not guaranteed, you're saying you still can't get there to do that. So, quit being dumb and be an adult and make the decision. If you want to do your dumbass crap, you can do it, but quit whining. Quit whining that everything's not going your way. If you move down in house, you will be in a better position to be able to do all the other stuff you want to do. So you need to pick one, and in both cases, quit whining about it. I explained it to her perfectly. Strange refuse. 1463, need car advice. As the title states, I've tried to follow Dave's advice regarding a beater car. Do or do not, there is no try. I have one that I've been working on for the last 3 years. When I say working, I've had to grind out the frame and weld new steel to make it sound. All right. Well, I mean, him saying to buy a beater car doesn't mean to not get it checked out by a mechanic ahead of time. And it also doesn't mean buy a fixer-upper that you have to constantly be working on to make it sound. Did you not check it out? If you know how to grind out the frame and weld new steel to make it sound, do you know enough about cars to check it out yourself? And you should have done that beforehand and realized that that was going to happen. But I've got no payments. True. This weekend I've been troubleshooting in evap code, which has caused me to drop the gas tank. All right. During this time, I found another section of the frame that had a break due to rush. I've got the steel and plan to weld the new part on. All this to say, I've poured tons of time in this vehicle. Well, your time is free. Unless it's taking you away from work or significantly away from family. But, like, you can also do that at night when kids are sleeping. That kind of thing. Just time management. But your time is free. So the problem is if you were spending a lot of money on paying someone else to do it. Let's see. When it goes down, my wife and I can commute together for a few days, but it's not easy. Wah. I'm really trying not to go into car payments again. You don't try. You just don't do it. You take that option off the table. People are so dumb, man. But it would be nice to not need to do major work every 2 months. Wah! Maybe you bought the wrong beater, and that's your fault. If you didn't get it checked out ahead of time. Now you can get it checked out ahead of time with the mechanic, and the mechanic can miss something or something new could happen. Sure, it's always a gamble on a beater. But also, it's a gamble on newer cars as well. Newer cars have problems too. So, one never knows the future, unfortunately. I'm really trying not to go into car payments again. You make the decision to not do debt again, and then you do everything you can. You try every other option first than to do that. Let's see. It's very tempting right now to just buy a used 2017 car and make the payments. Well, if you want to do that dumb crap, do it. Why are you on the Ramsey subreddit? The subreddit is called Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's advice is no debt. So why are you bothering to type this? Why are you not just doing your dumb crap? And go ahead and get a car loan. That's stupid. Let's see. To have something reliable. Did you buy the used 2017 car? 2017 cars, some have problems sometimes. They do, trust me. So it's like it's a lie you're telling yourself. Again, justification station that the 2017 car will be much better. Not necessarily. Quit being stupid. Quit trying to justify your dumb crap. Just do your dumb crap without, you don't need to justify it. You can just do whatever dumbness you want to do. You know what Dave would say. So just make up your own mind. You get to decide, and then you'll be in the you'll have to deal with the repercussions of it. Let's see. At what point do you stop and just pull the trigger? If you've decided not to do debt ever again, that's never. You apparently haven't. Or do those of you with older cars, do you keep on doing the repairs? It depends on how much the repairs are and what it looks like. So, I mean, you could have a mechanic. If you, it sounds like you know what you're doing with cars. So why can't you tell? Oh, what do you mean? We don't know exactly what's going to happen with cars? That's right. We don't know what's going to happen with your car going into the future. We don't know what's going to happen with the used 2017 car that you buy either. Let's see. And we live in the Salt Belt. That's your problem as well. That's not a justification station for going back into debt. Mechanically, it's fantastic. Miles are low, but the rust is overtaking the frame. Body looks great. If you're fixing the frame and you're able to do that, why not do that? If it's only costing you time, why not do that? You would just be watching something on TV or scrolling on your phone or doing something dumb instead. And let's see, update. Thank you, everyone. It took me a day and a half to finish the job. Wah. Thankfully, there was no frame damage. The joint that held the truck spring leaf suspension rotted out. Okay, sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So this is the perfect case for a perfect person to own a beater because they can do the work themselves. Had a buddy help me with the welding, 14 hours of labor and $100 for a part, and it's all good. Yeah. When I posted, I was a bit stressed. We're expecting our first this fall. I'm trying to keep debt down while building savings. This is a planning ahead for when the wife takes time off. This is planning ahead for when the wife takes time off of work. All right. And so now you should be in stork mode. That's where you pause the baby steps and you just pile up cash. And that's not cash to get a newer car either. But one comment that was helpful was identifying that this was a project car and not a beater. I never thought of it that way. Interesting. So thank you. Okay. It doesn't matter to me. That doesn't change it for me at all, but whatever works. My plan is to look around and see what's available. I really can't afford 14 hours of weekends tied up in car repairs with a young one on the way. Justification station again. Yes, you can. Thank you all for being civil and kind. All right, not always the case on the Reddit, but yeah, you can do 14 hours of weekend, and you're saying weekends. It would be one weekend in this case. You are exaggerating, trying to justify your stupid crap. And so, again, just like the other one, you can do your stupid crap if you want to. You don't have to post about it on the Reddit. You don't have to complain about it. You don't have to whine about it. You can just do it. Or you can follow the baby steps on the Dave Ramsey advice. Melicon 1. Pension or 401k. My wife has an option through her work. She's a professor. To either pick a pension or do a 401k, or sure it's not a 403b, where she puts in 4% and they put in 10%. That's pretty good. We can't put in more than 10% into that 401k either. Why not? We were looking for advice on what one should... Which one we should take? We're currently debt free. Okay, so if it was a 1-for-1 here, as far as the pension and the 401k, the market is going to beat a pension. The pension contributions always count as half towards the 15%. So, it's not as good as the market. So you would pick the market, so that would be the 401k. Or in most places where there's a professor, they would be doing a 403b, is what it would be called instead. But basically the same thing. Anyway, so, but, and then also you would have in a 401k, you would have a match. And like if you put in 4 and they put in 4, that would be great. That's 100% rate of return. You're looking at over a 200% rate of return. So the market making more than a pension plus the immediate return of the match of 200 over 200%, that means you would pick the 401k if it is that, or the 403b. We are currently debt free. Stay debt free. Hate the currently. Like, oh, we might change it sometime. I mean, or maybe they just mean for maybe a house or something like that, or just say it because that is the current case, but that just sounds bad to me. Let's see. Talk me down from buying a car. That's dumb. Don't do it. And then what's the next one? How do I balance savings versus paying off the mortgage? You don't have extra savings. You don't have general extra savings. You have the full emergency fund. And if you have a known upcoming expense, you start a sinking fund for that, and that's fine. But you're not having, say, 10,000. You're not even having $1 saved extra, really. Just that doesn't have a name on it. That's not for something specific. And you also wouldn't be doing it. Just depends what it is. You should know if it's something you should not be prioritizing overpaying down the mortgage first. So you're doing it wrong in both of those cases. To buy a car, probably. I mean, if you need we'll see what that is tomorrow. Excuse me. And but the extra savings, well, we just want extra savings. That's a no. You have your full emergency fund. That's all you need. And then if you know there's upcoming expenses, you can have extra savings for that. It's called a sinking fund. But there's no general, oh, well, we got 30,000 extra that we just like to have instead of putting it on the mortgage. That's not the Ramsey advice. So that's dumb as crap is how I would characterize that. Once more, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is on the address is on the ticker below, also in the video description. All these links are youtube.com. Email address is coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. Alternatively to CashApp $ Coach Steve Money. Alternatively, get still again. Giving you all kinds of options. CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com for the Walmart gift card. Upcoming streams. This stream, the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. Until further notice, Monday through Fridays. Right after the Ramsey Show leaves the YouTube at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's when I take over. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much if you have done those things. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.